Chapter 3. Too much to handle. Monique's birthday fell on January 1st. She was a New Year's baby. Pretty cool, right? As my older sister by 3 years, she was pretty protective of me. She did, however, get a kick at pranking me and Nicole as her younger sisters. Her and Jasmine will pull off the sickest jokes, but me and Nicole didn't always find them funny. I do remember this one time where they all got me good. They told me that a penny could get me anything and everything I wanted. As the gullible one, we all walked down to the corner store down the street from our house. Only this time, they waited outside for me. Something my 4 to 5-year-old brain didn't keep as a setup. As I, wide-eyed, grabbed every snack possible I could imagine in sight and managed to get them on top of the counter, the cashier, who looked like Aladdin, couldn't help but smile and watch me struggle as I made rounds back and forth, again grabbing everything my heart desired. I finally sighed as I made my way back to the counter, now facing the cashier. He knew me as a regular customer, but I never came alone. He asked me, "Where are your sisters?" I smiled and turned to the window where Monique, Jasmine, and Nicole were giving me a thumbs up. So I gave them one back and confidently watched as the man bagged up all my snacks, well, ours, because I picked out what they liked as well. All I remember is him giving me a total that sounded gibberish. I just knew that this single penny in my pocket would take care of whatever total he named. But boy, oh boy, was I wrong. I proudly handed the man my penny. What I didn't get is why he held it in his hands and asked me where the rest of my change was. He told me a penny is worth nothing unless I had much more. Now, confused, I turned to look out the window again to see my sisters laughing hysterically as they ran across the street. That was probably the longest walk back ever. They were savages. Monique was always the ringleader in these pranks. Another thing about Monique is that she could sing. Her voice was so angelic. She was also a mini artist in the making. Growing up, I didn't remember any of our birthdays being celebrated as much, but Christmas always seemed to make up for it. Theater would always dress up like Santa, and I remember us getting lots of toys. For New Year's, we would always watch the ball drop like a tradition. As we were all growing up, I started realizing a shift in Monique's behavior. She was such a beam of light and powerhouse. Unlike me, she would stick up for herself, which was considered talking back. I would always try to do what I was told, so I wouldn't get in trouble. Monique vented to us many times that she didn't like living there. She said she felt like we were like her personal slaves and personal checks. So as her behavior worsened, so did Elizabeth's patience. The beatings became more frequent and Monique became more disruptive. She was crying for help through her actions, and the people she wanted to save her sadly couldn't even save themselves. So she started to run away in hopes of finding our parents. Her behavior was deemed too much to handle, and she was removed from our home. At this time, Monique was 9 and I was 6. What I really didn't get or could fathom at this time was that this very moment created my first real introduction to separation anxiety. I didn't really feel this with my parents because the bond was never established, and now at age 30 would never be.